So we have Piggy, and in Piggy the story is told through chapters, so you have 12 in book 1 and 12 in book 2, and that's it. So yeah, Piggy has some extra chapters focusing on a certain character. These chapters' main purpose seems to be to explain something such as what happened to Bunny after we left her, or what did Zizzy do to the refinery. Anyway, some of these chapters are better than others, so let's start it on my ranking. Okay, so we have Distorted Memory, which is the first CFC ever released, and I think it still holds up if I'm being honest. In this chapter, you're basically playing as Georgie in a distorted version of the house. One thing no one ever gives credit for is how good of a first impression this map shows. Like, everyone was pretty hyped when it first released, as we thought it would be planned. Honestly, this map is really fun, but it's basically just house, but expanded from the side, without a top floor, unfortunately, with more distorted and creepy theming and decor. But where the map fumbles the bag the most is in its story. So basically, you escape the house and see Penny. She then runs off into the void, then Georgie becomes infected, and then you wake up because the whole chapter was a dream. Yeah, this whole chapter didn't matter, kinda like Act 3 of Hello Neighbor. Now, overall, I think this chapter is great, but the worst out of them all. But Minitoon made a real good first impression. I would put it in pretty good tier. Okay, so right after Distorted Memory, we have Distraction, which was the third CFC ever released. This chapter was released in between chapter 11 and 12 of book 2, and honestly, I think it's kind of fun. So in this chapter, you play as Zizzy, who is trying to escape the refinery and also blow up the refinery. Now Zizzy is literally being chased by her little sisters, but twisted like, does Tio hate Zizzy or something? Now, one thing I like about this chapter is its replay value. Most of these chapters are replayable apart from a select few. Now, unfortunately, just like last chapter fails in the story, even though it is better, it still leaves me with more questions than answers, but it gives some insight on Tio's backstory. So overall, I pretty like this chapter and would give it a pretty good tier. In 5th place, we have Heist, which was released after chapter 6 of book 2, I think. In this chapter, you play as Willow, or Pony, as you attempt to steal a pie to give to Willow's little brother, who, if you don't know, is William. The chapter doesn't really innovate the gameplay, with there only being a couple new items and mechanics being introduced, but honestly, I kinda like it like that, because it could get unfun, like what can you make out of a polar bear in a cop costume? The main thing I like about the chapter is the story. We're given a symbolic and cinematic cutscene showing loads of lore and information from a variety of characters. I would put this chapter in the amazing tier. Now in 4th place, we have Breakout. Now this map is the first completely original CFC. This map has one goal, and one goal only, is to be scary, and it completely excels in this with random ambience. The bot Umbra being able to jump of the freaking ceiling onto you like bro, that caught me off guard on the first time. But the map isn't that replayable, and it can be buggy and downright unfair at some times. Like, what do you mean Umbra was camping outside the portal I was doing? But dang, that story hits hard, and is kinda sad, like dang, Tigray went through so much. And then at the end, we still see that Willow and Tigray, after all their fighting, they still care for each other. Overall, I would put this chapter in the amazing tier. In 3rd place, we have Decay. Now this chapter is 3rd most recent CFC, and honestly, I like it a lot. It would be higher, but it is not repayable at all. An average playthrough of this map is around 20 to 30 minutes if you're playing the map normally. And the map is hard if you're playing it without guide, like some of the puzzles, especially the bag puzzle, really stumped on my first playthrough. It took me like an hour to get to the bonnet chase, and I died on the Brella chase. Speaking of Brella, her design is real creepy, and just overall a pretty good chase. The story is not that good. Like, this gave me the most questions, but that was answered in Delirium. But the quality of everything in this chapter skyrocketed and was just amazing, so I would put it in amazing tier. In 2nd place is Mansion, and I love this chapter. If Delirium didn't exist, I would have this chapter as my favorite. Now, fortunately, this map is pretty challenging in a good way, as Duokara is a really interesting bot with you needing to look at it when its face is blue and sprint for your life when it's red. Now, this chapter's story is really good, so basically Z and Zuzi just decide to break into Old Man Eddie's house, such great citizens, and they get chased by Duokara, who is like the security bot, and then Zizzy finds the twins, they say sorry, and then we get one of the biggest lore reveals ever. Like, this teases so much for Inner City and shows how important Finley will be for Piggy. Overall, I love this chapter and would put it in the peak tier. So we have now reached the end of my ranking, and my favorite CFC by far, and without a doubt, is Delirium. This chapter is amazing. I have already made a video about this chapter, so watch that if you want my full thoughts. To summarize, this chapter is amazing with many jump scares, multiple areas, perfect length and difficulty, horror, amazing lore, and the scariest secret in Piggy. This is all I would say in this video. So again, you can watch the other video. If you want, thanks for watching, and please subscribe, it helps a lot.